Hey there. So, if you've ever tried to memorize the fundamental rights of the Indian Constitution, you know it can be a real headache. But what if I told you there's a simple trick, a memory hack, that makes it all click into place? Well, let's get right into it. I mean, seriously, trying to nail down more than 20 articles, from 14 all the way to 35, and in perfect order, it can feel completely impossible. It's like this giant wall of text, and if you get just one part wrong, the whole thing just falls apart. It's a tough challenge for any student, but trust me, there's a much, much better way. So, what if you could have a shortcut, a way to get all of those articles perfectly lined up in your head, ready to go? You see, the key isn't to just cram more information in, it's about learning smarter. And we're going to do it with just three core statements. That's it. And here they are. Think of these as our three master keys. Each one unlocks a whole section of rights. The first key gets you equality and freedom. The second one handles religion and culture. And the third, well, that gives us the all-important constitutional remedies. These three keys together, they are your complete map. All right, let's jump in with our very first key. Now, this one's the longest of the three, and it covers a huge chunk of crucial rights, all the way from Article 14 to 24. This one sentence is going to be the foundation for everything else. You ready? Here it is. Go ahead and say it in your head with me. Law remove doubt and give 6 freedom by which we saw MRP clearly. Yeah, I know, it sounds a little weird right now, but believe me, every single part of that sentence is a trigger for a specific article. This phrase is about to become your new secret weapon. Okay, so let's start breaking it down. The very first word, law, is the easiest one. It points us directly to Article 14, equality before law. See, simple, direct, a perfect place to start building our memory palace. Okay, now for that next word, doubt. Each letter here stands for the next article in line. So D is for Article 15, which is the prohibition of discrimination. O is for Article 16, equality of opportunity. U is for Article 17, abolition of untouchability. And finally, T is for Article 18, the abolition of titles. And just like that, you've cleared up all doubt and locked in 4 more articles. What's next in our phrase? Give 6 freedom. This is another one that's super straightforward. It takes you right to Article 19, which, you guessed it, guarantees 6 fundamental freedoms. The phrase itself is literally telling you what the article is all about. So how in the world do we remember those 6 freedoms? Well, that's where SAO MRP comes into play. S is for speech and expression. A is for the right to assemble peacefully. U is to form unions. M is for free movement throughout the country. R is for residence anywhere you want. And P is for profession. Boom. All 6 freedoms, perfectly in order. And now we're at the very last part of our first statement, clearly. So C is for protection and respective conviction, that's Article 20. L is for life and liberty, the famous Article 21. E is for education, Article 21A. A is for protection against arrest, Article 22. And the LY at the end, we'll just use that L for protection against forced labor, which covers Articles 23 and 24. And there you have it. Our first key has just unlocked everything from 14 to 24. Perfect. You're doing great. Let's move on to our second key. Now, this one is a little different. It's not really an acronym. It's more like a little story. And it covers all the rights related to religion, culture, and education. So here's our second statement. Con man evades tax attendance and hampers Indian culture and education. Just try to picture it in your mind. There's this con man, right? And his schemes are messing with taxes and attendance, and that ends up hurting culture and education. It's a simple story, but it makes the keywords stick. Okay, let's break this little story down. Con stands for freedom of conscience, which is Article 25. Man is for the freedom to manage religious affairs, Article 26. Tax reminds us that there's freedom from paying taxes to promote a religion, that's Article 27. And attendance points to the freedom from attending religious instruction, Article 28. See how that works? Now, the end of that sentence makes this next part almost too easy. The phrase hampers Indian culture and education literally points you to the next 2 articles. Article 29 is about protecting the interests of minorities, which relates to their culture, and Article 30 is the right of minorities to establish and run educational institutions. The mnemonic basically gives you the answer. And here we are. We've made it to our final key. This one is short, but it is incredibly powerful. This is the part that Dr. Ambedkar called the heart and soul of the Constitution. It's the right that actually gives all the other rights their teeth, the right to constitutional remedies. And the memory trick for this one is just beautiful in its simplicity. Supreme Court will call Ramla. Think about it. We had a problem in our second story, that con man. So where do you go when your rights are violated? You go to the Supreme Court. And who do they call to sort it all out? They call Ramla. So let's decode RAM law. R is for remedies, which is the heart of Article 32. A is for the application of these rights to armed forces, that's Article 33. M is for the restrictions that can happen during martial law, Article 34. And the final L is for the legislation needed to put all these rights into effect, which is Article 35. And with that third and final key, you've actually done it. You haven't just memorized a boring list. No, you've built a memory palace. Those 3 simple sentences you just learned, that's the blueprint to your entire understanding of the fundamental rights. Just take a look at them one more time. These are your 3 master keys. The first one for equality and freedom, the second for religion and culture, and the third for those all-important remedies. 3 little sentences are all it takes. Go on, say them out loud one last time to really lock them in for good. Seriously, just take a second and let that sink in. A task that probably seemed huge and overwhelming just a few minutes ago is now simple. It's manageable. You've successfully mapped out over 20 articles of the Constitution in their exact order. Now that is the power of a good memory trick. You see, this wasn't really just about memorizing some facts for an exam. It was about learning a new way to learn things more effectively. You've just given yourself a really powerful tool for tackling complex information. So the only question left is, what are you going to master next?